Now we are going to discuss on how to give the permission for the fields. Okay, if you see here, these are all the fields. Filter 1, country, define, multi-field 1, 2, postings, corporate postings, and all. So like this, they have been fields have been defined till here, right? Till interview guide, the fields has been defined. From here, the permission starts. Okay. So before we move to permission, whenever we create a requisition, there will be three statuses. Okay. Pre-approved, approved, close status. Okay. So can you tell me what is pre-approved, approved, and close status?
Pre-approved is when the requisition is created, like when the roadmap appears, and then you have to fill some information. And approved is when all the recruitment processes start, like when the candidates apply, when you post a requisition, and so on.
Okay. So how can I define user?
Sorry, say again.
Just typing, just a moment. Okay. So there are three statuses, okay? Pre-approved, approved, and closed status. So what is pre-approved? So whenever you're going to instance and start creating a requisition, right? So that time once you click on create, you define all the requirements, and it goes to a roadmap, right? For approval process with the different people defined as in roadmap. So that is called as pre-approved status. Approved is who all the people involved in this roadmap will provide an approval for it, then it will be open for hiring. That time you can hire candidates. Okay. So close status, you are going to say it when you have hired a candidate within that requisition and your requirement is filled and you're closing the requisition. So you're clear about this? What it is?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So now we will come to permission part. So we are going to define permission based on these three things. So who all can see it in pre-approved state? Means once I go and create a requisition, and if I send it for approval, those people need to see the details, right? Like before they approve, the things are fine or not. Got the idea?
Yes.
Okay. So for that, what all fields they can see? Okay. So there are different fields here, right? In pre-approved stage, before approving, before he clicks on approved, so he wants to check, right, all the fields is correct or not, all the content is present or not. So here we're going to consider it as like that. Pre-approved, what all fields he can see it, what all fields he doesn't want to see it. We have control over there. Okay. Next thing is in approved status. This is approved requisition because you can hire a candidate here, right? It's already in open state. Status is open, so you can go ahead and schedule the interview, and if you want, you can hire a candidate in this. Okay. So now as a recruiter, what all fields I can see as a recruiter or a hiring manager or a sourcer or a originator or a VP of staffing or a HR manager, what all fields they can see it in this state. That is called as approved state. Okay. And then last one is closed state. I'm going to hire a candidate. My requirement is finished. Person has been decided. It will be moved to onboarding, or onboarding is done. I just want to close this requisition. I'll just go and close this requisition. Okay. So we are going to decide which operator going to see what fields and what permission he has in which status. That we will see. Okay. So till here we are going to define the fields within the requisition. Okay. Here comes the permission part.
Quick question. If we have more, like, for example, I think we checked yesterday a requisition when it had more than
on hold or custom things, right? So that one was just that one is just for their reference, but we don't give permission over there. If you want, you can. I'm not sure. I mean, normally they don't keep it. Normally, as a standard process, we just keep it as a pre-approved, approved, and closed status. This is a general scenario. This is what they use. Normally, client they won't prefer to have anything in that state. If you want, you can just give a try. So you have to add this on hold as a pick inside the package center for under this requisition status, and then instead of pre-approved, you have to define that particular state, whatever you, for example, on hold. Okay.
So it will pretty much, it will work pretty much the same, right? Like you have to define the state in the pick list, and then define the permissions that you want to. Okay.
Yes. Just make sure whatever the value is there, it is exactly replicated, or else it won't take. In case if you're creating, okay.
Okay.
So just try to understand the concept. It's like we will be defining the status here, which status, and who are the operators involved in this, and what are the fields they can see. Okay. And what is it? Like that. Okay. I will just give an example. Here they have given it as none. For permission is none. Okay. For what are the operators, that is for coordinator, hiring manager, originator, recruiter, secondary recruiter, VP of staffing, I think. So these operators don't have any permission for these number of fields in pre-approved state. They don't have any permission. Neither they can see, neither they can edit. None. Understood?
Yes, got it. Yeah.
Okay. So next one. Next one is read permission. Okay. Read permission for which operator? That is defined here. Originator. O means originator. In which status? Pre-approved status. What are the fields I need this originator to read it? These fields. Okay. Similarly, permission for R. What is the permission I need to give? Read permission. For which operator? Or operator. In which status? Pre-approved status. These are the fields.
So it's pretty much same. Yes, it's pretty much same as PM. When you, for example, at the top, like the first permission is none, and then you can add some permissions. So that how can I say that? Like if the permission is the last permission is the permission that the user got, even though the first permission is none. If you give the user right permissions,
see, here actually you can reorder it. Doesn't mean that you have to do it in this format only, but for a better understanding, to make it in a presentable way, people will always try to follow the standard process. Like they start with pre-approved, they start with none, and then they come to reading, and then they come to write permission. Okay. Similarly, if I go down, read. Okay, here it starts. Okay. I want write permission. For whom? For operator O. O means originator. Which status? Pre-approved status. What are the fields? Originator can edit it. These are the fields he can edit it in pre-approved status. Okay. Like this, we're going to define based on our requirement. This you are going to gather this, how you going to decide it, whom to give what permission, that will be decided during the requirement gathering. So you should ask the person, who needs what permission at that time.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have worked in that. Yeah.
Okay. So till here we finish the pre-approved state. Next comes the this one we have worked on. Pre-approved state, we have done it. We have given the permission. Next comes the approved state. Similarly, read permission for operator originator O in approved status. What are the fields he wants to read? These are the fields. You just have to give the field ID, whatever you have defined in the top. You just have to copy paste here. Okay. Similarly, different rows, right? And then once we complete it for approved state, we will come to close status. Normally for close status, they don't give any permission as such. But if some client has requirement, they want some edit to be done, it is possible. They can give it. Okay.
Yeah.
See here. They have given only write permission, read permission in a close status. That's how the normally it will be. They just want to read it because everything is hired, right? So they don't want to make any modifications after hiring.
And regarding that role, like can you go up? Regarding that role, the role that is there, the operator that is there. Sorry, how, like, I don't remember like clear, but you say that role is not using anymore. Is not.
Which one? Which role exactly?
The role that you are seeing, the operator that you are seeing right now in this permission.
This one, J-role. This J-role is for super admin. This automatically gets created. You don't have to do anything. This happens by default. This is auto generated. It says here, right? Auto generated. Even if you create your XML here and import it once into the system, this gets auto generated. Once you export it, it will be there by default. So you have no control on this. J-role. Okay. This is auto generated. You don't have to worry about it. So once you create this XML and if once you import in the system, right? Within inside the system itself, this gets auto generated. So this we have no control on that.
Okay. So like the person who import the file is the person who get that role per se?
No. Anybody can go and import it. Whoever has the permission for managed templates, right? This is for system generated. This is not for us. This is for system. This we don't have to do anything, and we are not going to modify anything here. I can actually delete this. Okay. And if I import this file and export this file again, this will be there already. Even if you are not created this.
Okay.
This auto generated.
But my question is how I can, because the operators are just like limited, like just 7, I think, or 6, something like that. Yes. So in case that I need to use another operator, J-role can be a solution, or
no, that's the success factor limitation. That's the main drawback of SuccessFactors RCM. They have to accommodate in those roles. There is no extra roles created. I mean, there is no extra roles given.
Yeah, I know. It's just in that case, how can I use the J-role operator? Like I know that recruiting, I don't know, like the Q role, or I can just assign the operator in the requisition and I can type any type of name. That J-role operator is just when I create a super user from provisioning.
No. Super user has got nothing to do with it. So whatever your requirement is there, right? So you have to accommodate it within those. Beyond this, you cannot do anything. You have to tell your client only these operators are available and they need to accommodate within this. And most of the clients will be able to do it. And I mean, till now, that's how it has been done. they will be able to do it. So in case if they don't want to give it for a single recruiter, we have an option for teams also, right? We can generate a teams for this recruiting team coordinators. And so somehow they managed to do it, and intentionally SuccessFactor has done it in that way. So that I don't know about this. This is a system limitation, and we cannot do anything about that. So only these number of fulls is available, and there is no alternative for us to or work around that we can do anything about this. And most of the clients can accommodate within this, so I don't think so this will be an issue. But even if the client asks, so that will be the answer. Right? This is the system limitation, and they need to accommodate within this.
Okay.
Okay. So we discussed about read write permission in 3 status. One is pre-approved, approved, and closed status for different operators within the requisition. You're clear till now? There is another permission related to requisition, that is open, reopen and close requisitions. Yesterday I have told you about this, right? Button, that's called as button permission. You can see it here. Okay, we will define it at the end of it. You can define it anywhere, but we just follow this standard process. So one comes after another, so that whoever sees it, it looks fine, and we just following the proper way. Button permission, close to all these operators. Button ID is close requisition and reopen requisition. You got it. Yesterday also I showed you in the front end, right? How to give the permission. Here it is. Okay. Who is I got to close or reopen the requisition? Hiring manager, HR administrator, originator, recruiter. Which permission? They have given all permission. Okay. So now we have covered the permission part within the requisition. Okay. So coming back to requisitions. So yesterday I didn't get a chance to talk about it. This is called as instruction. You were asking, right? What is instructions field? So this is called as instruction. We were defining here, right?
Are we going to see on the requisition how to define certain fields for specific countries?
Specific countries?
Yeah, no, for example.
That comes under application. So we will discuss on that in application part. Okay, now we will just focus on requisition part. Okay. Yeah. So this is called as instructions. Yesterday you were asking, right? So if you want an instruction field, you can define it here. You can give anything. These are all instructions. Okay. These are all fields. And then These are custom fields that I've created, replacement for and all. This is instructions again. Now we will talk about the things. So internal job title, external job title. Internal job title field is this for what do you want to call this job for the internal, you know about IJP, right? Internal job portal. If I'm working within a company, within my company itself, I can apply for a different position if I go to careers.
Yes.
Okay. So
quick question, what happened if, because that happened in my previous company last time, like for example someone defined, so like they need a new field on the process and they create a new field and request that field as mandatory. So and the thing was that a specific role, for example, per se, that you have an ABC new field that is mandatory in pre-approved step to recruiters or something like that, or recruiters has permissions to fill. And then in approved sessions, because some of them, like when you do that type of changes, the requisition take the new field or the changes automatically when you update the system. Even though the requisition was created before the change and it was in process, how should be the best way to manage that type of scenario when you need a new field, and how to, you know what I mean, like how to create, like should be a new requisition or
no, if you want to add a fields, you can add again once the requisition is present, right? You can keep adding the fields. That's not a problem.
And what happens if it's mandatory and then the system give you like some pop-up error message because one required field was like is not
yes. So what happens in that case is whenever you're creating a new requisition, right? That time you don't face any issues. But whatever the requisitions already present for that requisitions, you're talking about the one which is in a live scenario, right?
Yes, but say again, sorry.
You're talking about the scenario which is live, right?
Yes, it's live.
And you are asked is live, and you're asking you want to add a new feed that has a mandatory feed, and how it's going to impact the requisitions which is already present in the system.
Exactly.
Okay, so this impact is there only for the requisitions which is present in the system, okay, which is not there for newly created requisitions. Okay, so whatever the requisitions which is already in my queue, if I go to recruiting and if I see the requisitions which is already created and which is live and things are happening, it will throw an error. Okay, so what you can do is you have to give the right permission for any one of the person or one of the operator so that he can go and fix that issue. He will be knowing the values for that feed, right? So one person needs to go and update that feed and save it, save the changes for all the requisitions which was previously present.
Question, can I do like, I don't know if it's too much, but
no, it's okay.
Can I, like, for example, to all the requisitions that are in progress and are facing that issue, can I like upload that field? No.
You cannot upload that feed.
Like the value to prevent the error coming to the...
You can. I'm not sure. I'll just give a random idea. You can create a business rule. Okay.
Okay.
If the requisition is so and so, and you can mention the field value, and provided this happens only if your value is constant. Or else you know the value how it's going to change. Like, for example, if the country is America, then the value has to be A. Or else if the country of the requisition is equal to Canada, and the value has to be B. If you have some relation, you can write a business rule based on that relation, and you can attach it to the requisitions that will take care of it. That will automatically pop up for the requisitions which is already present previously.
Okay. And if the value is different?
No. Then how the system will know that this has to be the value for this requisition? Okay. There should be some logic, right? So there should be some base for it to identify what to be given.
So if the value is different, should be like a manual process.
Yeah. Yes, manual process. You can just give the permission for that one operator and one team, and you can ask them to manually update it. So that's the thing, right? I mean, there is no other option for it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So let's come to the field. This is the job. These are all standard fields: internal, external, title, job description. Job description you can copy and paste, and you know about competencies, right? So whatever the competencies you use in PMGM, the same will be used in recruitment as well. If you go to browse, and we can see the competencies which was already added. So we can just go and add it. So these competencies will reflect in Interview Central. What are the competencies saved in requisition? These are the competencies that will be reflecting Interview Central. Okay. And we can add another field for questions. Okay, there are similarly competencies. These are questionnaires. We can add it from our libraries, or else we can create on our own. Okay, so this can be anything, and you can make it whether these questions will appear for the candidate when he is applying for a job. You can see that these questions: are you above 18? If you make it as a mandatory, then it will be mandatory for the candidate to respond to this answer. You can also disqualify the candidate. For example, if you can make it saying the correct answer is yes. If somebody says the answer as no, cites the answer as no, it can be disqualified. If it's disqualified, then there is a status within tag and pipeline, right? Disqualified status. So it will directly take the candidate to the status. So we cannot proceed further with that candidate. Automatic disqualified. Okay. So this is like a first level screening for any of the company. This based on the client requirement, anything can be given. Got it?
Yes.
If you want to make it as a disqualifier, we can make it, or else just a question and answer. He'll just answer this. Okay. Consider. Okay. And then, okay, two things I want to discuss on. There is something called as header and footer in job description. Okay. So job description header, this is for internal header and this is for external header. Header is something like when you're posting a job, right? and there above the job description and below the job description, you can make it as a highlighting part. Okay, job description is there, and above this job description and below this job description, I can make this to be pasted. So normally what the clients will do is in header they will tell about the company. For instance, Google is they just give the brief description about the company thing, just for advertisement purpose. Okay. In footer, normally what they do is they just give some disclaimer part of it. So, like, how can I say, disclaimer, something like there is no discrimination in this company, there is no racism in this company. Okay? Those kind of things. That's just left to client. Whatever they wanted, they can add it. Okay? Header and footer. Aware of this? I mean, you got to know about this. Understand?
Yes.
This we can add it as a field here. If the client prefers to have it, you can add it. Then you have an option to select it. You can create a number of header and footer and save it. And then the person can choose anything about it before posting the job. Okay.
Okay. Yes, I have seen that in the requisition, and people just have to select the template.
Right. Okay, so these are the things for there in requisition. Now we will discuss on the teams. We were here. You know about the operators, right? And how to create teams, operator teams.
Yes, operator teams and groups.
Yes. So here we have defined a team here. See it? Okay, recruiting team has been created. This is a team, right? Operator team, it is type, and required is false, custom is false, and then what is the group name for it? What is the name for it? Field name. We are going to call it as logistics recruiter. Okay. So once we define like this, and then what we can do is here as a recruiting teams, I can see it as a field here. See here, recruiting team. Okay.
I have a question there.
Yes.
For example, I don't understand really. Can you see like next to recruiter team is the names of the groups of the individual persons that are part of that group? How?
Yes.
What is the loop?
I will come to that part. Okay.
Okay.
So what first part is you're going to define this field in the requisition. You're going to define it. Now we want to tag this team, right? We want to identify what is that group, who are the users of that group, right? So what we will do is there is something called as manage recruiting groups. Okay. So I will go there and I will choose a group, whatever I want. I want to create a group for recruiters. Okay. I will take this group. I will add the users in this group. Got it? We will come to the tagging part later.
Yes.
Now you
yes.
focused on the groups, how to create a recruiting groups. We will go to manage recruiting groups, and then we give the names different for it, and then we add the users in that. Now, how to identify which group to add to which requisition. So we have recruiting manage recruiting team settings. Okay. Here I need to select what requisitions. For example, simple job requisition. Manage access role by, I'll just do it as recruiting team. Here I can give the default user, and we can add like this. So if we tag it to the requisition, then it will display it here.
My question is that, oops, I think you did it. Like as we can see, they are like in the loop. You can just type the name of persons that are on that team, right? Like,
yes,
you can just not type anyone and
no,
but
not anyone. They need to
no,
be, they need to be in this group which
in
we
the group.
created earlier, right? Yes,
Yes.
they need to be in that group.
My question is, what is the difference to be a member of the group and be selected and searched by this loop? I don't understand that. What is that loop for? Like, you can search the person, but you are not adding
The
more
reason
permissions or.
the reason why we have it, so certain companies have large many employees involved in that. Within the recruiting team itself, they'll be having lots of recruiters. For example, US recruiters, Canada recruiters, India recruiters. So, in order to avoid the confusion and to identify users in a, we are just segregating into a smaller group so that we can identify them easily. For instance,
But
you might be a for instance, you might be a recruiter for US group. You are a US recruiter. So if we are hiring for a India requisition, we don't want your name to pop up or to shortlist this, right? So we just shortlist the user so that it's easier for us to understand. That's it. There is no other use of this. Right?
but like, for example, all the people that isn't manage additional user will get that requisition, right? Like, if so, if you type the name here, it is just, as you said, to identify maybe who is the person in charge of that, like who will be the recruiter team if we have a lot. Is my understanding correct? Sorry.
See, who are in the present in this group, right? That group, they can see this requisition. Okay, we are just specifying one person so that he can take in charge of it.
Okay, but it's the same permission as any. For example, if I type here, okay.
See, recruiting team permission and recruiter permission is one and same. You cannot differentiate it. Both are same only. The reason we are having team is that so more number of people have control on this field as a recruiter. That's all.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I think we have covered pretty much on that. So now we have left this roadmap with the requisition. You must be very familiar with the roadmap because you're from PMGM. So this is the room, and then we have this. You are already aware of it. I don't know what to tell you. Okay, so step 10 we can give anything. Description you can define it however you want. So this you are aware of, right? Single role, iterative, collaborative. You are familiar with, right?
Right.
Single role is single, iterative is grouping between two people, collaborative is anybody can take it within the certain people. Next comes the role part. Here we have different roles: employee, manager, second one manager, those things are all. So normally what we do is for if we want somebody within the requisition operator to be the part of it, we are going to define the role. For example, I will create as custom and then I'll create it as G. G means
Hiring manager. But it's the same like if you select in the role like manager. Quick question.
yes,
If for
yes, same.
example, if you select custom and I type, I don't know, like R, that the system
We
identifies
have
that is the
yes directly. So these things you can use it. Originator,
but
hiring manager, recruiter, coordinator, like this.
but my question is how the system like it can be the first step because the system doesn't know who is the recruiter for that requisition.
Right. So that's where when it comes to picture, right? So when you are creating a requisition, we will actually define the fields within this thing. If I am a recruiter and creating a requisition, so before sending to approval, I'll be having permission to edit, right? So I will fill it up those things. Who is the recruiter? Who is the hiring manager? And then click on send. Once I click on send, then it follows the roadmap. So whoever name is mentioned as a recruiter here, Tesla worker, it goes to Tesla worker.
But sorry, quick question. But the first step can be R, just that the originator has to define like before
anything. The person who creates the requisition is the originator. That's it. And you
yes,
can have it anything.
anything as the
yes.
first step for the roadmap.
Yes. Anything. Only the
Okay.
person who is creating will be originator, and next part can be anything. It goes to normally what happens is like companies will be having position management, right? So most of the users will come based on the position itself. So everything auto populates. So you just have to go and submit it, depending if they have easy. If not, then you have to use this roadmap and you have to use this things. And before sending to approval, whoever the person is creating the requisition, he needs to fill up these details. So whoever the person is in a production, obviously he needs to fill up the details and then only he will send it for approval, right? In a general scenario.
Okay.
So then it goes here this and then approves. Okay. So consider this roadmap you're aware of. So this is completed and how to tag the roadmap. So from template settings, you must be knowing it. So we have to cite the requisition there. Okay. Simple job requisition. I can see that there is no roadmap is defined. I can go and select the one which I have created for recruiting. Then I can just go and save it. Okay. Clear?
Yes. It's just that I was thinking that the requisition works in the same way as PM and GM. The first step is the first step, is no one can do anything on the form before that step.
No. That's the reason we defined it, right? In pre-approved, who that's the reason we give it the permission. In pre-approved, who can do what? Whether the person can read, whether the person write, or who the operator can do it.
Can you create a new requisition?
Sorry?
Can you create a new requisition, please? Like All right, this part. In this part, we define who is the recruiting, the hiring manager. That is the reason.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. I forgot that one.
Good
Yep.
idea.
Yes.
So yeah, now we have completed the requisition part.